to my channel. I'm Maria, a homeschooling mom who also works a full-time job, and I wanted to give you guys some of the tea of what it was actually like to homeschool for the first time when I homeschooled last year, because I'm doing some reflecting and I'm actually going to be making some changes. I wanted to let you know all the mistakes I've made for my first year of homeschooling, and also everything I wish I would have known before. Before we jump in, I wanted to talk about all the things I wish I would have known before homeschooling. And the first thing is that I wish I would have known that I wouldn't have figured it out all at once. Honestly, it took us so much time to really get into a rhythm, to understand how I like to teach all at once, to also understand how he likes to learn. And I feel like that first year was really like our trial year. There was things that I used, things that I didn't use, things that I bought that never got touched, and also things that I continued to buy because it was working, or worksheets that I actually had to adjust and change. And understanding that it's okay, because it's gonna take time to actually understand what works for you. And the truth is that as a homeschooling mom, you're constantly gonna have to keep changing things, because it's not like a teacher. They get to teach the same grade multiple times and make changes knowing that they're going to be teaching the same grade. It's different because your child is constantly growing with you. So you're constantly have to change and implement new things and see what works and see what doesn't. So that's definitely one of the things I wish I would have known before homeschooling. The second thing I wish I would have known is that homeschooling isn't cheap. Yes, you can get a bunch of things for free. I'm sure if you go to a thrift store, I'm sure you can get hand-me-down things from other homeschooling moms, but it really isn't cheap, especially if you're new and you're excited and you have a new child that you want to do all these fun things with. You're going to be spending some money. So realistically, I think it's important to understand, to have like a little budget moving forward, and also really sticking to what you know you're going to use. And I think sometimes that's hard because, like I said, especially during your first year, you're constantly adding and subtracting and trying to purchase new things and trying to go in a different direction. So homeschooling definitely isn't the cheapest route, but it doesn't have to be super expensive. I think we did pay for our curriculums. I paid for specific things in Amazon, but a lot of the things that I did purchase, I do have to say I still use, and I'm going to continue to use, like rolling cards, whiteboards, certain trays, certain baskets. Those things are going to be constantly used, which is good, because now this homeschooling year, I don't have to spend too much money because I'm not starting off brand new. And the last thing I wish I would have known, which I actually kind of used this early on, you don't have to follow a Monday through Friday traditional schedule. I know that's what we were taught. You know, as the public school system, they have a very specific rigid schedule where it's like Monday through Friday, it's between 8 and 3. You don't have to follow that schedule, which I love. I actually don't follow that schedule at all. I do a Monday through Thursday schedule. I homeschool for a couple of hours every day, and then on Friday it's kind of like a flex day where it's either like tablets or more arts and crafts. We're going outside. So Friday is less of a structured day. It's more kind of like we're just going with the flow, and I'm actually going to implement that this year as well, because it works so well for me, especially because I work full-time. So on Friday I'm catching up on a lot of things, or I'm trying to get things done throughout the house. So that schedule, Monday through Thursday, works perfect for us. Here are some of the mistakes that I made as a new homeschooling mom. One was not having a yearly overview. Yes, you don't have to have everything so planned out and structured, but it's really good to have at least some type of structure for the entire school year. Like on Martin Luther King's Day, it would have been nice if I would have planned something ahead of that type of holiday. Or for, I'm not sure, or for President's Month, I wish I would have had something planned for that. So especially because I work full-time, it's really hard for me to just try to plan things on the fly. I have to have some type of structure and routine, because everything I do is set within a certain time frame. So definitely having a yearly overview of what we want to do, at least on specific days, or things that are being done specific months, it's gonna be more helpful to me and less stressful when I'm trying to figure things out last minute. And even though I did have a curriculum which truly helped a whole bunch, especially as a new homeschooling mom, I highly recommend at least having a simple overview. I mean, you can always change things up, but having something that you can go by every month, or you know what days what holidays land on which days. I think that'll be super helpful for you, especially during your homeschooling year. This year, I'm actually not going to be sticking to the exact same curriculum. So one of the other mistakes I made was just purchasing one curriculum. It was a mistake, but at the same time, it wasn't, because I feel like that first curriculum that I purchased from Christian Light Education was really great for us, especially as a new homeschooling family. But this year, I understand that one curriculum is not going to fix everything. It's not going to be, it's not going to be the end all be all with just one curriculum. It's truly important for me to implement other curriculums based on how my son learns. So like, I know for reading, my son needs he still needs continuous help with his reading and his spelling. So Christian Light is, because it goes on a slower pace, I prefer that for him. But with math, I would like something that's a little bit more speedy, a little bit more challenging. So I'm thinking about going with Horizons. But there's certain things like that I need to consider for this school year, because I now understand how my son likes to learn, and I understand where he's at academically. Another mistake I made was not really sticking to intentional outings. So maybe not scheduling days to go out to the museum or to the library. This year, it's going to be completely different. I really want to do things differently, but I want to be more intentional with how we're spending our time as a homeschooling family. The mistake I made that bit me at the end of the school year was not tracking attendance. So I live in a state where we do need to track attendance. We do need to complete either a certain amount of days or a certain amount of hours, and this needs to be handed into the homeschool evaluator. And of course, last minute, I had to figure out what days were what, when did we do school, when did we not. I mean, we were pretty consistent with our schedule, but there was some times when I would take a week off, or an extra day here, extra day there. So definitely tracking attendance from the beginning. That way I'm not scrambling at the end, is one mistake that I made last. And the last mistake I made was thinking that I can do everything on my own. It can feel really lonely as a homeschooling mom, because you don't have a true community. And this year I definitely want things to be different. I'm actually also part now of a homeschooling community, a virtual homeschooling community, which I will have linked in the description. But definitely having other homeschooling moms talk to you, having them give you some resources, giving you some tips, is so important, because we're not perfect. We weren't, it's not like we went to school, a lot of us, to do this specifically, and we are more than capable of doing it. But sometimes we can get lost, and it can get scary, and we could become overwhelmed, or we could have some type of mom guilt, or feel like, are we doing the right thing the right way? So definitely being part of a community is so important. This year I really want to join a co-op, and also I have a virtual online community that's also for myself as a parent, but also for the child, which is super fun. I'm so excited for him to join and be part of it. And I'm so excited that I will be in the community teaching Spanish. So stay tuned for that. And my first year as a homeschooling mom wasn't all bad. There was a lot of things that I did good, and I was so proud of myself, and I'm actually going to be implementing this school year. And one of them was really understanding where my son needed help in and focusing in on those areas. One of the things he needed a lot of assistance with was reading and writing. And that's one of the areas that we focused a lot on this year. And thankfully, with Hooked on Phonics, he was truly able to start as a completely newbie, learning how to write, learning simple words, until now he's actually reading little books. I'm so proud of him. It was the biggest accomplishment for that year. And writing, because in order for him to do math problems, he needs to know how to write his numbers. So I'm so excited that I did that, and I focused on areas that he lacked. That way now for this school year, we can really start speeding up and excelling in areas that I know that he's good in, like math. Another thing that I did do last school year that I will continue to do this school year is doing daily and weekly reviews. At the end of the school day, I will always go over new things we've learned, new concepts. And at the end of the week, I will go over, other things we've learned. And monthly, we would do like a whole week of just reviewing everything we've learned for the month. And that has been super helpful, because it's constantly reminding him of things, new concepts, whether it's new words, new numbers, addition, different facts. So that was something that was truly helpful for him and for myself, because every time we did review, I would notice, okay, we need to focus on this a little bit more. Okay, you need a little additional help with this, or oh, okay, you're excelling in this area. Perfect. Now we can move on. Another thing that I did implement this school year was using ChatGPT. Definitely have ChatGPT as my personal assistant, my teacher's aide, because there's times when I'm just like, okay, I need to come up with new ideas, something different, something new. And I will go ahead and go into ChatGPT and type it in, and it would provide me with different lessons, different activities, worksheets, all of that. And that was something that I will definitely be using again for the upcoming school year. Last thing I learned that I think is super essential, especially for all homeschooling moms, is knowing when to step back. Knowing when to set time aside for yourself, knowing when to regroup, knowing when it's been a rough day and it's okay if just one worksheet gets done, or it's been a rough day and it's okay if they're just gonna do their tablet for today to do any type of online type of curriculum. That's okay, because you as a parent, you're not just teaching, but you're also parenting. You're parenting, you're teaching. For me, I'm also working, I'm on my content creating journey. So it can get super overwhelming. So knowing when to step back and regroup for you and for the child, because sometimes they have off days where they need to have time to just go off. Maybe let's go for a walk, maybe take some time. It's okay, especially when they're learning something new. It can feel challenging to them, overwhelming. So definitely knowing when to just step back and let go and then regroup the next day. Here are some of the things I'm actually going to be changing for our upcoming homeschooling year and keeping. And one of them is using a more hands-on curriculum. I love Christian Light Education. It was so great, especially again as a new homeschooling mom. But it's very sit down, write, do the worksheets, do the workbook. So this year, there are certain things I'm going to keep and certain things I'm going to change. And I think for like history and science, I want to get a more hands-on type of curriculum where we can do more experiments, maybe have more games involved. And my son really likes hands-on approach. But I also do think it's still important to have moments where you're sitting down, you're paying attention to what you're doing, you're understanding concepts based on what you're reading. So we're going to be doing a little bit of both. And like I said, the next thing is definitely being part of a homeschooling community. I am now part of a homeschooling community and also in a homeschooling community. So not only will I be the parent in the homeschooling community, but I'm also going to be the teacher in the homeschooling community teaching Spanish. So I'm very excited for that. Looking forward to joining a co-op that hopefully works with my working schedule, because that's the part where it's really difficult. I have a very traditional job. So finding a co-op that works with that, that's going to be the challenge. I haven't found one yet, but I'm still on the look for one. Definitely, I will be continuing the tablet, maybe looking into an online curriculum as well as supplemental. I think it's so great because it breaks apart from the traditional just sitting down, writing, doing worksheets. So sometimes he gets on his tablet and he'll use Khan Academy, and on Khan Academy, a lot of the times they're going over things that we already learned in the curriculum, but they use it as a game, or there's like different ways of reviewing it. They have stories that they could read and math problems. So I'm definitely keeping that because that is super helpful. Usually we do the tablet after we do our curriculum and our schedule for the day. So then in the last 30 minutes of our homeschooling day, he's usually on a tablet and it's usually going over things that we've already learning, which is perfect. For sure, this year I will be scheduling more trips, whether that's trips to the museums, to the library, to a convention, anything to get us out the house, to get us learning, to get us with other people. Definitely, I want to do that for him because he truly enjoys learning, but he loves experimenting and experiencing learning new things. So definitely going to be doing that. Now it's a little tricky because I do work from home full time, but that's why they make PTO days. And those PTO days I will be dedicating to taking my son out. And also I get other days off because I work in education. So there's random days that I get off during the year that I will definitely be utilizing to take him out on field trips. And if you're a new homeschooling mom, I hope that this video was super helpful. I hope that I provide you with some clarity, maybe give you some insight on what you need to keep in mind when you are homeschooling, and also things that you can do as a new beginner. And also I hope I give you some peace of mind and also some push that you can do this, because I have no experience as a homeschooling mom. This was something completely new. I'm the first person in my entire family. And my mom comes from 12 kids, so that's a lot of people that is homeschooling. So this is brand new to me. People think I'm probably crazy, but it's possible. And I do this all with a full-time job. So if I can do this, and if you want to do this, you can do it too. And I'm always here to help. You can always reach out to me. I mean, I have also a whole blog dedicated to different tips and how I do it as a working mom, and also this YouTube channel where I'm going to be documenting a lot of the things that I do as a homeschooling mom who is also on her entrepreneur journey, who also works full-time. You can find all of that here. So make sure to subscribe, like, and follow, and leave a comment with any questions you have or any video ideas, and I would love to get to that and make videos on that. Thank you.